like in the real life, I couldn't do it anymore. And it's been, I mean, it's, I guess, nothing short of a miracle the way I feel.
Since I've got my CognoHour, I've changed 360 degrees.
It's been blowing my mind. The whole thing, on a daily basis, it keeps blowing my mind, really. This has been amazing.
The first thing I did when I got my Cogno ball in the mail was I worked on my migraines, and I only did 2 sessions. And I haven't had a migraine since January 20th.
It's like the best personal development tool system that I've ever come across in my life. And it works on every level of your being, on your mental level, your emotional level, your physical level, and your spiritual level.
I've researched so many different modalities. I've become certified in EFT, in EMDR, in havening, in flash technique, in TRE, you name it, and also a massage therapist. I kept searching and searching, and last summer I found CognoMovement. And I immediately, it highlighted in my inbox, and I just knew this was what I was guided to work with. And it's been amazing.
I ran across a CognoMovement video while hiking. I basically put maybe 50% effort, 70% effort. My one little thing that I needed to work on was I wanted to make more art sales. I'm an artist. I think within a week I had 4 sales, and one bought 2 paintings. One person bought 2 paintings.
And Bessel van der Kolk said, the most important thing in trauma work is to get the body involved. And this is the first modality that I have learned that incorporates all of our principles with trauma work and desensitization reprocessing, and it incorporates the body. And I haven't had anything work as well as this. It's changed my practice and my personal life. I'm using it for myself, and I recommend it to everybody to give this a try.
I can't even really put into words how it's changed my life. It has changed my relationships with my children. It's changed my relationships with my colleagues. It has helped me to move forward with private aspects of my business.
All of us practitioners start with ourselves. Okay, simple as that. And that's why so many of us are so damn happy.
I've released so much. My life has changed so much. I even get emotional about it. My relationships, my business, it's a blessing. Thank you.
My relationship with my wife got a lot better. It feels so peaceful. And I love it. Thank you. It's definitely been a blessing.
I did the same video, and this time I'm going to focus on, manifesting just money. And within 2 weeks, apparently, a family friend who I have known since I was 9 years old, she left me a lot of money. She left me $100,000. I absolutely credit it to my session.
With all these other things, they did make change, partial change. But then people were still stuck with these deeper layers in the nervous system, and they would go back to that level of trauma. And with CognoMovement, I saw that it could actually shift and actually change for good. And that is what the gap I was looking for to fill.
We have CognoMovement in our lives now, and it makes a huge difference. I would say, I'm going to say, it can be a lifesaver for people.
I think CognoMovement chose me. It resonated with me. My intuition says, to do it. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful ride ever since I started doing CognoMovement.
When I came across CognoMovement, it absolutely changed my whole practice and execution of trauma-focused therapy.
I'm so extremely grateful and surprised the gifts and the quality of this program. They are so astounding to me. I just have never come across anything like it. The level of commitment and the level of willingness and the level of presence that I have not even seen in some of the more evolved spiritual communities I've been working with. I have not found that level of clear, true, we are in this together, we're human beings. And we are doing this, we are helping each other. There is such a quality and a level of commitment that has been very surprising. And I resonate with that deeply. Everyone I've worked with has seen the value of this.
I would highly recommend CognoMovement to other professionals in my field and in neighboring fields.
So it just seems to cover all aspects of everything. And if you want to have change in your life, you can have it. You can have it is what I've realized. You can have it, providing you want the change, you can have it. Everything's possible. That's what it's taught me. Everything's possible.
Hey everybody, it is Leah. Welcome to CognoHour. If you are new here to CognoMovement and CognoHour, please put in the comments that you're new. And for the rest of you, welcome back. Like I said, I'm Leah and I work for the nervous system experts, Bill and Liz, who created CognoMovement, which sets aside the idea of changing your mindset and instead transforms your life by addressing the root of the problem, your nervous system. This makes you think and feel and react and create and manifest in entirely new ways, which, by the way, also changes your mindset. So, without further ado, we're going to get CognoHour started. And the theme is, can you change your reality? So, one question that I have to remember to ask, anybody who's been to Cogno Conscious, please put it in the comments and let me know if you have a story for us. Okay, so now that I got that out of the way, let's welcome Bill and Liz, and I'm going to ask you this question. Can you rewrite your history?
Hey everybody, hi. Oh my gosh, I recognize some faces, some are new. Looks like there's somebody actually who's like 8 miles away from me. Hello, we're neighbors. I'm sure we'll be seeing each other at some point soon. That's so great. You know, tonight is one of my favorite subjects. Hey, Bill McKenna.
Hey, Liz.
Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
So somebody asked in the chat, and you know, obviously they were reading my mind, about, does CognoMovement work on positive things? Like, you know, does it just clear trauma, or does it work on positive things? And oh my gosh, it makes positive things so much bigger. You can actually map it into your nervous system so that that is the single point that your body is radiating with this amazing feeling. Isn't it the best, Bill, that feeling of just radiating that amazing energy?
You know, it really is. And it's, you know, it almost sounds kind of like, until you've really experienced it, it sounds like, you know, like, what do you guys, I don't even, if I listened to this, you know, 20 years ago, I would have been like, I don't know what you're really saying there. But the easiest way that I can explain it, I'll say myself, you know, 20 years ago, the situation in life would determine my state. Whatever, you know, was the, you know, the reservation didn't happen, the girlfriend broke up, the you name it, you wrecked your boat, you name whatever your problem of the day was. And that would determine my state. There's the oddest thing, and this is the thing that all the CognoMovement practitioners that are certified practitioners have in common, is they know now that their state will produce the situation. And this sounds really odd, but it's true. All of us are constantly doing it, but it's below our level of awareness for most of us. The easiest way I can say is if you've had a really, really good feeling, and then, things just start going your way. And when that is authentically felt as a real feeling in your life, at that time, it will happen just as sure as the opposite happens. So this is what the essence of it is. How do we get our state to create the situation that we want? It's always creating the situation. We're just not aware of it.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't be more true. How you feel, what your body is doing, how you feel in the moment, that creates your reality. So our dear practitioner, Rita Stewart from Australia, she came to Cogno Conscious, and she says it changed her life. Rita, would you be willing to share that with everybody? If you can, Leah, are you with us? Let's see if I can find Rita.
Yes,
Here she is. I got her, Leah. I'm gonna ask to unmute. I think you should be able to unmute, Rita.
So the as Rita, oh, good.
Thank you, Bill and Liz. Yeah, I can't express how much my life has changed since I started cognitive movement. I had issues with my dad. I had issues with my daughter. My husband's in full-time care. Yeah, it's just life's really traveling on quite profound. I could not have seen it. So it's been wonderful. Thank you.
What was your experience like at Cogno Conscious? What was it like? How hard was it? What do you think changed for you after?
Going through the scale, Hopkins scale of releasing all the sadness and working through the issues of anger and hurt, and then going into higher vibrations so that you're into the bliss and you're feeling happy by the time you leave the conscious cognitive workshop or the so it takes you through slowly into a progress of really letting go of baggage, let's put it that way.
Did you think it was hard?
No.
No?
No. It's enjoyable, you have lots of fun. I'm coming back this year, so I must be liking it.
Well, I know lots and lots of things have changed for you. And once they change, just so everybody knows, once you go through this event and things have changed, you actually forget really what life was so much like before. So it's hard to remember. But is there one big thing that you feel like changed after that event or changed you as a person?
I would say the events around my father was big time. It brought stuff up, don't get me wrong. There's stuff that comes up and it can be quite challenging on a day-to-day basis, but universe, bless its soul, it brings it up for your learning to release it. So that's what cognitive works through all the time. And I find it's really helpful because it's body, mind, and soul. It's not just all in your head, which a lot of modalities are.
So things didn't just change for you with your dad. It almost seemed like it changed for the family. Is that true? Is that the story?
Yeah, very much so. It brought an argument up with my father, which the hospital had to deal with, and it got expression out which would not have got out. And then out of the blue, my sister, who lives in Melbourne, and her husband have a mentally ill child, and he couldn't live in Melbourne because of the energies, and he's come over here and he's a lot calmer. So she's staying in my father's house, so they'd go and pick him up every day and take him back. So it's really released a lot of pressure from me. So I could not have seen that.
Yeah, a little reality shift, right?
Totally. So, and my daughter has a child with autism, and I've worked on cognitive with myself mainly. She's not that open to working with me, her mother, and I'm a bit too close, but because I do the work on myself, the situation is changing, and she is getting so much stronger, more independent. She's just actually taken her child out of kindy in the education system and is going to homeschool. So the changes that have made there, and plus I do work a little bit with Tyler with the ball, so that helps him to calm down as well.
Amazing. So you're working on yourself and they're changing as you do it. I mean, this is classic CognoMovement relationship effect, but it really is a reality shift, don't you think?
Yes, totally.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Rita. And we will see you in just a few weeks. I'm so excited. I can't wait to give you a big hug.
Rita, I didn't know you were coming. That's so awesome. Looking forward to giving you a big hug.
Okay, thanks, Bill. All right, you guys, see you there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. So that's a lot of fun. You can see kind of the wide range of things that change for a person when they do this work. And you change you, but the reality changes around you. So how does that happen? So tonight, I want to ask you guys to do one thing for me. Pick one thing that you want to rewrite in your history. Now I'm going to ask you to pick something a little lighter tonight so that you can have the experience. And then when you get the replay, go dig back in and rewrite something deeper. Okay. So it's going to be that thing that you think about a lot, and it kind of affects you, but gosh, it happened, and how do I change it? I'm not sure if I shared this with you guys last week, but I had we had a business thing. It was ads, and it's just driving me nuts. We just couldn't get it right. And Leah and I decided, and Bill, we're going to cogno this thing and shift reality, right? So as I was doing that, I was focused on the feeling that I had around it. And I'm telling you, I was working it. And all of a sudden, what came up for me was my childhood friends. I had frenemies. You guys know what frenemies are? They're your friend 1 minute and your enemy the next minute. And 10-year-olds are notorious for this. I had a client yesterday, a 10-year-old client, who that was her problem too. She had a friend who she's her enemy 1 minute and her best friend the next, and she couldn't understand it. Well, I knew it had affected me in my life, and I'd worked it a lot, but it came up around this ads situation. So, I did my CognoMovement work, did the feeling, but then I realized this comes up a lot. I'm going to rewrite this and remap it into my neural system. And what did I do? I saw it again as I would have wanted it to. One of the little girls was blonde, and here I was, black-headed kid. In my body, I thought, oh, we're like yin and yang. And when we met, we just loved each other so much. And I felt that feeling of love. And then I moved through the hours and days and time of these relationships all the way up till today, and told it the way that would make me light up. And guess what it feels like now? You can see it on my face, right? I love them, and they loved me, right? at least in my nervous system. And guess what happened the very next day? The world opened up for us here at CognoMovement. Some amazing opportunities came up that aren't exactly ads, but some different things, right? It opens the world. So this is what we would like you to do. Pick something that you want to rewrite. It's going to be a linear moment in time, could be one moment, or it could be a lifetime of a relationship like mine, as long as you can isolate it into a thing that you could tell about a 7-minute story around. So jot something down. So Leah, if you'll bring Bill back, what is a traumatic memory? What are these stories about that we're not telling ourselves them? Our nervous system keeps reacting to them, keeps bringing you back in time to a moment. So if we're calling it a traumatic memory, what makes it traumatic? Does anybody know? What separates a regular memory from a trauma? What it is your nervous system latches onto it and decides that it's really about life or death. For me, in my little nervous system at 10, having somebody mad at me or hate my guts, that felt like death. Because of my particular setup, because who I was, because of the family I had. Everything in my world set that up to be a grievous injury. Where for some other little kid, they might have been like, F you kids, I'm finding somebody else, right? But, a different person would have never been friends with them, never put any time on it, right? But my little system did. So for me, it was a trauma. I can see Bill's face. Go, Bill, what do you have?
Oh, it's so interesting about this human system, this nervous system and brain that we have. You've got these feelings, right? On one side, you have your emotions. And these emotions, let's say it was in this particular case, the grievance, I'm being rejected, or, I'm angry, or, all these feelings. And your nervous system also has all these inputs: smell, touch, taste, hearing, feeling. So I got a feeling, and I've got a emotion that goes with it. And it basically comes together. And now you have this experience, and we call it a trauma. And what happens is that some event in life reoccurs, typically recreating a situation. So you re-experience it again, and you re-experience the same feeling. Liz had discovered something we call the core feeling, and that is something that runs your life. Have you ever noticed you got your friends and they're like, it happened to me again. All women cheat. All men cheat. We fill in the blank. Everybody steals money, whatever. And you're like, how does that keep happening to you? My God, it sure is strange how that just keeps happening. Well, anyway, our nervous system is sending basically a feeling and a thought and an energy out. It's the exact same thing as what we were talking about a minute ago, where the relationships completely changed. Rita came to CognoConscious, changed her reality, got the system working right, and poof, now other people in the family are affected and not acting that way.
I love how casually she just says, I'm working on my daughter, and now she's doing so. I'm working on it through me, but she's doing so much better. I know to people who are new to this, that sounds insane, but it really does change the reality that we see. How we perceive any situation or any human changes the reality in which they exist for us. Now, for somebody else, she may seem the same, but for us, it seems very, very different. And this is what's true about our past histories as well. We have a very particular way that our body views that moment in time, right? And then the body will remember it and remember it and remember it again and again. So it begs the question, what is your memory, your history actually based in? Is it based in truth and reality? Well, if you have one of those things, you're like, absolutely it does. It's based in reality. I was there. I remember it. However, here's one premise that you may not realize, that every memory is a corrupt file. It's an absolute corrupt file because of how they get formed. I think you guys are going to love this. I did when I learned it. When a situation happens in any given moment, your nervous system has a certain setup, right? I tell a story about a little girl whose life was ruined over a popsicle. In the moment of a situation, your stomach feels a certain way. Your blood sugar is a certain way. Maybe somebody kicked you in the shin. Maybe your mom just yelled at you. Maybe your underwear is too tight. That's one of my favorite. I had a niece who was like that. Like her life could be ruined over the wrong pair of underwear. It's kind of still like that. She's 33. So the situation, what does the room smell like? What is the lighting that is happening in that moment? Who else is there? What age does it happen? What emotional setup do you have to even understand the situation? All of that goes into how the body experiences a situation. Based on all of those things, it decides, is this a non-memory or is this a trauma? So the little girl whose life was ruined over a popsicle, it really was, because she didn't get her popsicle. Her mom gave her one later, but by then the damage was done. And what it meant to her in that moment is, I'm not lovable. Nobody loves me. And now she has a predisposed nervous system to set up to look for that. Feels like this, no one loves me. Feels like that, no one loves me. What I didn't realize is my 10-year-old frenemies, performed a sort of psychological torture on me, because that's who I was. It mattered to me if they liked me. And, I set it up that it meant I can't certain things. I'm super proactive. I've created a lot of things. But somewhere in the back of my little nervous system was, well, they can do things that I can't, right? Weird. But my system saw it that way. And it is shocking how many ways throughout my life that I've seen things that way. So what we're talking about is things like, you can't find a relationship, or every relationship cheats, or I just can't get ahead financially, or, I'm always sick. I feel sick all the time. I'm always ill. I get in accidents all the time. I'm clumsy all the time. These are the kind of things that we're talking about. So when the body remembers it again, let's say it's 10 minutes later. Now, where are you? Now, what does your underwear feel like? Now, what does the room smell like? Now, what is the lighting? And what happens is the memory of it, which is just a feeling in your body that sends a signal to the brain, gathers everything else in the room and adds it to the new memory. Have you ever been talking to someone about a situation in your family, and 2 or 3 weeks later, everybody's like talking about what probably happened and what their motives probably were, and the whole situation gets blown way out of proportion? That's what your nervous system does. So any memory that you have now is a very corrupted file by every moment that it has remembered that memory. I can see Bill has something to say here.
Okay. How is, just bringing this home for you, have you ever had your friend tell you were both there in the situation and you clearly remember it? It's like, no, we went here and the person said this. And then they come in from the side and they're like, hey, remember the blah, blah, blah. And, and it's like, you're confusing two stories. Those even aren't the two stories. You put two stories together and you're making stuff up to make it seem like something. But actually, they are us. And I hate to admit it, because I'm always right. I'm always right, damn it. I'm right. I couldn't do that. I'm very clear. Well, we all have this thing that Liz is, and some people are more a little bit more corrupt than others, but we all have it to some extent. So it's a very real thing. And anyway, there's much more beyond this around the quantum realm that we don't have time to get into. We've talked about it on other videos.
Yeah, so true. It's such a big subject. But the thing is that our memories, that our pain points, they're really not about our logical mind. They're about the nervous system flaring them up and turning on the fire alarms for you. Like in my experience, how in the world did my 10-year-old frenemies affect my ads, my ability to do ads in this moment? Why did it bring that up and pull the fire alarms? There's not a logical reason. What it is it felt the same. Well, they had a challenge for me to run from one end of the world to the other. At that time it was our road. And I didn't think I could do it. And somehow that felt exactly the same as I just cannot figure out this ad thing, right? It changes the trajectory of your life. So Bill, would you talk about that a little bit? How does a very particular emotion, a trauma, a feeling, a part of our history, how does it hold us in a certain track in life?
This is so interesting. And I think, I know personally I can relate to this as and if you apply it, you will too. The nervous system, is our subconscious. And for all of our lives, all of us have, been told, what's going on in your life is 95% of it's the subconscious. It's controlling your life. And, I was always like, what the, okay, I'm believing you, but I don't know how it does that. What happens is the nervous system creates that feeling. For Liz, it was, I can't. Somewhere there's a feeling. And most people are not aware of it. I had some feeling up in my shoulder for me. That was one. But we have like this perpetual kind of me feeling. It's a me feeling. It's so familiar. You like, it is me. That's just who I am. But this feeling, we know, we think thoughts equal to the feeling. We cannot think thoughts greater than our feeling. If I'm feeling I can't, I'm going to get some real I can't thoughts going. And this creates also an electrical field that we know about. But what's insidious about it, and wonderful all at the same time, is that it creates what Liz calls an electrical fence, the electrical fence of our life. I like to say, if you're a guy, I think you can relate to this. When you were younger, or maybe even today, there's a beautiful girl and you're like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. Oh, I want to say hi. And you're like, no, you're going to look like, oh, you're, no, don't do that. Don't, that's not going to go well, And so there's the electrical fence. Or maybe it's your boss and you're like, God, if I just had another $20,000 a year, that's really going to, don't press it. I'll wait to a different time. So all of those things, right? Whatever it might be, whether it's a conflict with a neighbor, or maybe it's telling somebody, looking them in the eye and telling them you love them. Authentically, I love you. I love you. I love you. And it's like, oh, no, not going to go well. So that is the electrical fence. That is your subconscious. That's the insidious way that the subconscious controls what direction your life goes in, and you don't even know it. It just seems natural. Hey, listen, I'm being reasonable here. I look like this. She looks like that. Come on now. Come on. You don't want to do that. You'll make up a reason. You'll make up a reason. So you go, So this is super important. The other side of the coin. There's another side of this coin. And the other side is you've had times in your life where you are like, dun, 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 dun. There is that part of you. And that subconscious part of you as well is very much programmable. You did it before, you can do it again. You can apply that same thing so that you can be the one that's like, hey, what's up, baby? You know,
Right.
you
Well,
notice how well I do that because you know, horrible. I'm going, you know, canceled.
Bill's canceled.
Bill's canceled.
You know,
But
it's
you get it? I mean, it applies to really everything in our lives. Every single moment of the day is controlled by the subconscious. And this is an opportunity to start taking control of it.
that's exactly right. If you know how to turn the right dials, the right bells and whistles, like we do in CognoMovement, you can literally start to change the trajectory of your life. So how can we rewrite history? How can we take one of these memories that keeps popping up and turning on the little fire alarms or the big ones and make it feel different enough that our memory changes around it? What we do is we write a new neural code. We write a new nervous system pattern around it, which is what we're going to do tonight. So make sure you have your thing you want to change. But what that actually does for you is it starts to change the trajectory in a new way. If you don't have that electric fence that Bill was talking about, where every time you go to do the thing, you freeze up, you literally feel like you're being zapped, all of a sudden the world opens up completely. And things start to change. Like Rita said, that she could have never seen coming. You couldn't imagine it being changed. In our community chat today, Julie is she's attended Cogno Conscious many times, and her big dream was this house on the lake, and it's a very specific house on a very specific lake. And so she's learned this technique. And so, you know, there were some issues with a move. She lives in one state, she needs to move to another, and she would just change her feeling around each one again and again. So in the community chat, she shared today that she put in an offer on the house that just popped up. The listing just popped up. Well, she really wanted it to close sooner. And the next day, the seller said, okay, I want to close a month earlier. And she really wanted a decrease in the price. So she did her work, and there was a $5,000 decrease in the price. Thing after thing after thing. And I know that sounds insane, but it's not. It happens all the time. You really affect everything that you experience based on how you feel it and from what perspective it's being seen through. Julie knows she can change reality. So she does, right? So, okay. Do you want to be on a new trajectory about this thing in your life? If you do, put it in the chat, and I want you to actually consider it. The thing we're going to rewrite today, do we actually have your permission to have that be different? Now, I'll tell you why I'm saying this. With my frenemies, I could want to hold on to them and make them be as wrong as they were. They were little monsters, except for they were children who were in a lot of pain. Bad things were going on in their life, and I had a pretty good life, great parents and a pool and nice clothes, and they were suffering. But to me, they were monsters. So I could hold on and have them be monsters for the rest of my life. Or I could just change the story in my body so that really they were these amazing humans who were just having a moment, which is probably the truth. So you get to decide whether you let it go. And it's important that you ask, do you have permission to let this thing go and become something completely different? If you got a no from your body, that's okay. It's really good, actually a good thing. You can do it anyway, or you can choose something else. So let's set this thing up. Here's how it's going to work. We're going to do just about a 10-minute session. We're going to use the Cogno ball. If you don't have one, I want you to grab a pen or a small object that you can hold and move. Could be anything. Yep. Or Cogno ball, if you have these. Any one of these, or an object if you're new. Okay. We're going to start the session at the beginning of your situation. Okay. So in my case, I realized I knew I had met one of the girls when I was 5, but didn't meet them again till I was 10. So I started at 5 and I changed the moment we met and what we meant to each other. Okay. I turned, not a so sweet situation into, oh my gosh, we were just drawn to each other, like yin and yang. And then when we met 10 years later, we saw each other and we just loved each other so much that, we were just the best of friends. Then a third girl came, and in my memory, like, oh, she was the third to our, a tripod. And we just loved each other so much that we affected our school that we went to, middle school. Nasty, right? But we affected it in a way that that the whole culture of the school changed. And then I moved on in time I went to a different school. I wanted to keep that part because I loved changing schools, but we remained friends through high school and supported each other and we're there for each other. Now you can see my hands moving because I'm moving through the nervous system. This is what we're going to do too. And that now, as grown women, we maybe don't see each other all the time, but we love each other from afar. That's where my story ended. Okay. So this is what we're going to do for you. And I'm going to take you through the session and in the beginning and noticing how good this feels and how beautiful this story is. And I'm going to coach you through as we move up. You can write it any way you want, but what I'm going to have you do is say it out loud, if you will. Just say it out loud to yourself. You can whisper it to yourself, but I want you to tell the story out loud as we move. Everybody ready? Yeah? You ready, Bill McKenna?
Yeah.
All right. Anything you want to add before we get started?
No, let's get after this.
All right. Okay. Grab your ball. Here are the rules for this game. We're going to do a very simple CognoMovement session, some of the basic moves. CognoMovement is hundreds of moves. This is some of the basic and some of the most powerful. You're going to drop the ball down to just at your belly button or below, and you're going to let your head go down to look at the ball, but you're going to let your eyes go down. You need to keep both hands on the ball at the whole time or whatever your object is, and you need to keep your eyes on it. We're going to be moving through aspects of your nervous system, and we're utilizing your eyes and your physical body to do it. Okay, ready? Big deep breath. Let your eyes drop to the ball. Don't close them, please. And I want you to bring to mind your situation, your story, your history. Bring to mind and body all the people that are involved. See them clearly. Time frame, what age you were. We're rewriting history. Good. Big deep breath. And let yourself actively relax. Good. Start to move the ball left and right, about this speed. Left and right, let your eyes follow the ball and let your body feel how it feels in the moment. And we're going to begin the story, but this time, the most amazing, beautiful thing happened. Begin. And it really felt so nice. It felt like breathe. And what I really love about how this story starts now is breathe. Move up the body just a tiny bit, just up to just below the solar plexus. And what I really like about how this turned out is both eyes on the ball, both hands on the ball. And it feels so breathe. Good. Now move up to that solar plexus, keeping the eyes on the ball, both hands on the ball. And then what happened was so good because breathe into it and really feel. This is really less about the story and more about the way this new story feels. Breathe into it. Good. And move up just slightly now, just about armpit level. And you know what was really great about this? The way it happened was so good because breathe. Let yourself relax into this feeling of good. Good. Move up now to the chest. And you know what I was so amazed, what really amazed me about this is breathe and actively relax down into the body. And feel, let the feeling get bigger. We're at the heart level now. And let that heart feel this new story and all of its yummy goodness. Good. Beautiful. Move up just a little higher to the throat. Throat level. And you know what I love so much about the way this worked out is breathe. I love it. It just feels so great. Breathe into it, actively relax. Both hands on the ball, eyes on the ball at all times, or whatever item you have. And feel it. Feel how this new story flows in your body. Let your body tell the truth about this new story. Good. We're going to move up now to your eyes and ears. I want you to slow down. Tick tock, very slow. Eyes and ears. And you know now, you know what this thing taught me? You know what I know now about it? Breathe. You know what I really believe about this now? Breathe and let yourself really feel the love and joy and excitement of this new story. You know what I really know about myself now? Breathe into it. Good. Now move up to your forehead. You're going to let your chin drop. Keep your head level now and let your eyes start to move upward. Breathe. We're about the third eye here now. Letting your body feel this whole new story. You know what I really know about myself in this moment? It's that breathe into it. Tell the best story you can. See all the characters. Let them all be there. We're all doing new things, different things, and you feel amazing about it. But now you're going to move up over the head. Your eyes and your arms might be getting tired, but you can bring your elbows together and that helps. And you're going to let your eyes stretch way up and your chin down. And you know what I know about this again now? You know what I know? I know what's possible now. Breathe. What else is possible about this story now and you and your future? Because this turned out so well that now breathe into it. Good. Just a few more seconds. Finish up the story. Bring it up to date. Bring it up to today. Good. All right. Let your head drop. Let your arms rest. And just run through it in your mind. You can let your eyes close. Run through the story again now and notice how your body lights up. So this is a real rewrite. It's not about anything that actually happened in the story. You're rewriting it completely as you wish it to be. That's how this goes. Okay, grab your item again. And you're going to start way up here at the top. You can just use one hand now. And we're going to move in a circle, a slow circle around the face. And start at the beginning again. Tell your story. Mine would go like, you know, when I first met that little girl, we just were drawn to each other. We loved each other so much. Now, that wasn't how the story went originally, but it does now. Feel into that. This is your rewrite. Moving the ball slowly. We're moving through different memory places in the brain, place cells in the brain, and tell the story again. The new story. Slow, 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 slow. When you get to the top, you get to the end of the story today. Blink, 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 blink. Squeeze your eyes tight. Let your eyes come back up. And drop the ball one more time. Just rest. And notice what it feels like to have written this new story. Your new story, you made it up about how it happened really in your mind. We're rewriting the neural pattern. Ready? Bring the ball up one more time. We're going to go the opposite direction. Start at the beginning. Start the new story again. Just as it did the first time. So beautiful, so wonderful. Good. I'm moving the ball really slowly. Moving through the new story and how wonderful things turned out for you. Complete rewrite. Slow, slow, slow. When you get to the top, when you get to the end, let your eyes blink. Breathe. And let the ball drop. And I want you to shake it out. Shake it out. Move your arms. Bounce around if you want to. Good. And then just go back to that time in your life. Go back to the story. Just let yourself think about it for a second. And just notice, does it feel different? Does it even feel a little bit different? Are you having a hard time remembering it? So here's what you're going to do with this. This is just a sample. You're going to go back and you're going to do this again when you get the replay. And you're going to tell the story however you want, and you can rewrite it as many times as you want. What it does is install something new in the place of that neural pattern. If you know that the original story really isn't accurate anyway, and it's only accurate to the age you were and what else you were experiencing at the time. And if you know that it has you on a trajectory from your past and into your future of feeling not so good about a particular part of your life, money, relationships, housing, your body, all of those things, then why would you hold on to that memory? Why not rewrite it so that when you go back there, your body feels completely different and the world opens? So this is how you're going to use this little CognoMovement session. So if you'll write in the chat, if anything changed for you, how you feel about it, if it's different, we'd love to hear that. And then we're going to invite Leah on to talk to you about CognoConscious, because I know some of you are very curious about that. So Leah, take it away. that's Bill McKenna. I see Bill. The tides flipped. Great shift. Truly lighter. Awesome, you guys. Great work. Fantastic for your first try. Body tingling. Ooh, I love that feeling. That's a good one. A renewed sense of energy. Very good, Sam. Oh, a big shift around your grade
Tears of
1
joy.
teacher. You know, mine was kindergarten. I had a kindergarten one I had to rewrite. Rita had to do with pee in my pants. And as a grown-up, it still bothered me. A big shift around, like, definitely feel lighter. Have a big smile after working a childhood friend trauma. Oh, I love that. Okay, Leah, share with us what we need to know.
Yes, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Leah Show. I hope that you guys liked this mini session. I want you to keep in mind that this is a very, very small part of CognoMovement. It's a really fun exercise. If you got any sort of change, any sort of shift with this exercise, imagine what could happen with the full thing. So Cogno Conscious is an event that's coming up that September 9th through 13th. And it's going to be in Little Italy, San Diego. And we want you to join. If you could, in the chat, while I'm talking to you about this a little bit more, if you could put in the chat, what is the biggest thing right now that's affecting your life? Is it anxiety? Is it trauma? What is it that's affecting your life right now? What's that biggest thing? And I'm asking for a reason. But while we're talking about Cogno Conscious, if you are interested in going, but you want to talk to somebody first, ask some questions and see if it's really the event for you, book a call with me. I actually opened up my schedule for tonight and tomorrow. Getting on a call with me is very rare. I am constantly on the phone, constantly in meetings. So I'm opening this up for you right now, and I have a really special gift for you if you book a call with me. So the link is going to be cognomovement.com/call, and I'll put it in the chat. If you want to look at Cogno Conscious first and see some more details about it, then I'm going to put it in the chat as well. So I'm going to check the chat and see what people are talking about. So love loss is one of them, aging or illness. These reasonable people at the university. Oh, unreasonable. That makes more sense. Somebody asked, quick question. When Liz says to rewrite the story multiple times, is that meaning to rewrite it piece by piece if the new story is too far removed from the original story, i.e., rather than going 0 to 60 miles per hour in one go, going from 0 to 20 first, then going from 20 to 40, etc., step by step? Poor metaphor, but does that make sense? Do you want to answer that really quick while I'm getting people on the call and getting links?
Yeah. So really, as you rewrite it each time, what I do is I add new yummy pieces to the story. So if you do it, run the pattern the first time and you kind of feel okay about it, you got some pieces in there, you can do a rewrite. The next time you run it up the body, now you add some other pieces, some better pieces. You can do it as many times as you want. The point is to do it until you're like, when you remember that story, it actually remember it the new way. I'm telling you, these girls in my life, really, I just feel so lovely about them, which I never in a million years thought I would. But I did this for probably maybe 10 minutes. And I rewrote it a few times as I moved up the body and did the circle. And I added more and more. So that's the way I do it. So you can do it any way you like, as long as the feeling in your body gets better and better. Yeah.
Thank you. So, unsure about starting a career, a vendetta of hate and revenge on behalf of my ex-husband, his family, and church. I'm a nurse, but I want to be a profitable full-time trader. So if you get on a discovery call with me today, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can fix that problem in your life. And if that problem is fixed, I want you to think about it before we get on the call. If that problem is gone, what is your life going to be like? What is it going to change for you? And what is it going to be worth to you to change that? What would probably take 20 years, if it gets fixed at all, to change it in 5 days in September with us. So book your call, CognoMovement.com/call. Those will book up pretty fast. And let me know in the meantime if you have any questions about Cogno Conscious. If you want to learn more about Cogno Conscious, CognoMovement.com /Cogno Conscious. Can you do that to help heal someone? Could you explain that a little bit further? I can so I can answer it a little bit better.
I wonder, Sam, if you mean to do it to heal a person's physical body. Is that the question? I can see you, Sam, if you want to nod. Is that what you were asking? Yeah.
Oh, okay. So do we want to talk about Cogno Conscious? And when people were done at Cogno Conscious, how many of them, percentage-wise, would you say that healed people on the airport or in the airport on the way home from Cogno Conscious?
Yeah, every time we do Cogno Conscious, it's on average about 3 people heal someone else on the way home from their trip, right, Bill? Do you remember this?
Yeah, it's crazy. And nobody ever told them to. We never even discussed it. But all of a sudden they get on the post call, we follow up after Cogno Conscious, and one by one, they all start telling those stories of healing people.
Yeah, and actually, I think Scott, who's on, he may be one of those people who actually healed somebody on the way home. If it's
No, it's a different.
Oh, I can't see him. Okay.
Yeah.
But Sam, one of the things you can do it for a pet, you can do it for a parent, you can do it for a child. We've seen it 1,000 different ways. Is you can do a Cogno Movement session on yourself about how you feel about their illness. And many times that starts to change. You have to remember that we're in each other's neurological soup. We're affecting each other all the time. And so when one of us changes how we view or feel a situation, it can really change it for both people. At a very minimum, it can help you understand, oh, here's what I need to do different to help them. Here's what I need to do different to help myself. You may come up with an amazing idea to call someone who can help them. But if a person were to do this for themselves, for their own body, absolutely, it helps you heal. And here's the singular reason why. When your body has the fire alarms turned on about any subject, it's in fight or flight. When you're in fight or flight, consider when a lion is on your butt, it sends all the energy to fight, run, freeze, get smaller than, get bigger than, hide, not to healing. Your body does not heal in fight or flight, and your frontal lobes don't work. You don't think well in fight or flight. The minute that trauma feeling, the feeling in your body is collapsed, it's gone, your body instantly has energy to heal, horsepower. That's what it's about. Imagine everybody plugged into your house with their power lines with an extension cord, how dim your lights would be. That's what happens to your body's ability to heal. You disconnect all those plugs and your body now heals. So it's actually a very natural and even reasonable thing to do for the body to heal as soon as those things are gone.
So I have my first call in just a couple of minutes. So if you want to get on a call and talk about Cogno Conscious and figure out exactly how we can heal that thing that you want to change, or change that thing that you want to change, book that call at CognoMovement.com /call, and we will chat about it and we'll do it together. So Bill and Liz could teach you all night long, but we're going to let you all go. And as always, we're here if you have any questions and if you need anything. So with that, we're going to say good night.
Good night. And Bill and I want to say, come hang out with us. It's fun. We can't wait to
Yep.
meet you. See you all soon. Thanks, Leah. Thanks,
Bye.
Phil.
Bye.